the most financially dangerous day of your life might be the day you get a raise. Not the day you lose your job. Not the day the stock market crashes. Not even the day you go into debt. The day you get a raise. Because for millions of people, that raise doesn't create freedom. It creates a more expensive prison. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why some people earn six figures, yet never become wealthy, while others earn far less, and quietly build financial freedom. There's a hidden force that follows almost every salary increase. Most people never see it. Most people never talk about it. And yet, it quietly destroys more wealth than bad investments, market crashes, or financial mistakes. In fact, there's a good chance it's affecting your life right now. And the most dangerous part? It feels exactly like success. Let's imagine someone named Jason. Jason is 24 years old. He gets his first real job. His starting salary is $50,000 a year. For the first time in his life, he feels optimistic, independent, successful. He tells himself something many people believe: when I earn more money, life will finally become easier. And honestly, that sounds reasonable. Because if money solves financial problems, more money should solve even more of them, right? A year later, Jason gets promoted. His salary jumps to $65,000. He celebrates, as most people would. But something interesting happens. Not immediately. Slowly. Almost invisibly. The extra money starts changing his decisions. At first, it's small things. A nicer apartment. A newer phone. More food deliveries. A few subscriptions. Better vacations. Nothing extreme. Nothing irresponsible. Nothing that feels dangerous. In fact, every decision feels justified. After all, he's earning more. Why shouldn't he enjoy it? But 6 months later, something strange happens. The raise is gone. Not literally. Psychologically. The excitement disappears. The new apartment becomes normal. The new phone becomes normal. The upgrades become normal. And suddenly, Jason feels exactly the way he felt before the raise. Except now, his monthly expenses are much higher. And what happened to Jason is happening to millions of people right now. But to understand why, we need to look at a psychological mechanism hiding beneath modern life. Psychologists have a name for what happened to Jason: lifestyle inflation. And it might be one of the most expensive habits nobody talks about. Here's how it works. Every time your income increases, your lifestyle quietly expands to match it. Not because you're irresponsible. Because you're human. Humans adapt to improvement incredibly fast. Researchers call it hedonic adaptation. A complicated term for a very simple reality. What feels exciting today feels normal tomorrow. Think about your current phone. When you first bought it, it felt amazing. Now, it's just your phone. The same thing happens with apartments, cars, vacations, clothes, even salaries. The brain quickly turns luxury into normality. And once something becomes normal, losing it feels painful. That's where the trap begins. Because now, you're no longer paying for happiness. You're paying to maintain your new normal. And maintaining a lifestyle is much more expensive than upgrading into one. Imagine two people. One earns $60,000 per year. The other earns $150,000. Most people automatically assume the second person is closer to financial freedom. But that's often not true. Because freedom isn't determined by income. It's determined by dependence. The $60,000 earner might need $3,000 per month to survive. The $150,000 earner might need $9,000. Who's actually more free? The answer isn't as obvious as it first appears. And that's why so many high-income earners feel trapped. From the outside, their lives look successful. Nice house, nice car, expensive vacations, the image of success. But behind the scenes, many are carrying enormous financial pressure. Because every upgrade creates a new obligation. A bigger house creates a bigger mortgage. A luxury car creates a bigger payment. A more expensive lifestyle creates more things that must be protected. More things to maintain. More things to pay for. More things to lose. And eventually, something strange happens. The very things that were supposed to make life feel free start making life feel heavy. But the story gets even worse. Because lifestyle inflation isn't the biggest problem. It's what lifestyle inflation quietly steals from you. That changes everything. Most people think lifestyle inflation steals money. It does. But that's not the biggest loss. The biggest thing it steals is freedom. Let's imagine two versions of Jason. Version 1 earns $70,000 a year. His expenses are $35,000. Version 2 earns $120,000 a year. His expenses are $110,000. Who is wealthier? Most people immediately point to the second Jason. Higher income, better lifestyle, more visible success. But look closer. The first Jason could lose half his income and still survive. The second Jason could lose his job and face a financial crisis within months. One has a higher income. The other has a stronger position. Those are not the same thing. And that's the misunderstanding that traps millions of people. Because wealth is not measured by what you earn. It's measured by how long you can live without earning. Read that again. Wealth is not measured by what you earn. It's measured by how long you can live without earning. Suddenly, the game changes. The expensive car doesn't look like an asset anymore. It looks like an obligation. The luxury apartment doesn't look like freedom. It looks like a monthly payment. The lifestyle that once felt impressive starts looking fragile. And that's because most people have been taught to chase income, not freedom. Think about it. If someone offered you two options. Option A. Earn $300,000 a year, but lose your income tomorrow and your lifestyle collapses. Or option B. Earn less, but own enough assets to support yourself for years. Which one is actually richer? The answer becomes obvious. Yet society constantly encourages the opposite. Social media celebrates consumption, not freedom. Status, not security. Appearances, not ownership. And without realizing it, people begin optimizing for looking wealthy instead of becoming wealthy. That's why some of the richest looking people you know may be under the most financial pressure. And some of the wealthiest people may look completely ordinary. Because real wealth is often invisible. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need approval. Real wealth creates options. The option to walk away. The option to say no. The option to take risks. The option to spend time with people you love. And that leads to a question almost nobody asks. If salary doesn't create wealth, what does? The answer is surprisingly simple. But it's also the thing most people spend their entire lives avoiding. So, if salary doesn't create wealth, what does? The answer is simpler than most people expect. The gap. The gap between what you earn and what you need. That's where wealth is born. Not in your paycheck. Not in your job title. Not in your income. In the gap. Every dollar that enters your life has two possible destinations: lifestyle or freedom. And every financial future is simply the result of that decision, repeated thousands of times. Imagine you receive a raise tomorrow. An extra $1,000 per month. Most people immediately spend it before they ever receive it. A better apartment. A better car. A better lifestyle. But what if, instead of upgrading your lifestyle with every raise, you upgraded your freedom? What if every raise became a tool? Instead of a reward, a tool to build assets, a tool to buy time, a tool to create options. Because every dollar invested today is a future expense you won't have to work for later. And that's the secret. The wealthy don't use money to impress people. They use money to reduce dependence. That's why real wealth often looks boring. It's not flashy. It's not exciting. It's not designed for social media. But it does something far more valuable. It creates freedom. Freedom from constant financial stress. Freedom from living paycheck to paycheck. Freedom from needing every future paycheck just to maintain the present. And freedom is the thing most people are actually searching for, even when they think they're searching for more money. Most people spend their entire lives climbing a ladder, working harder, earning more, chasing the next raise, the next promotion, the next income level, believing that somewhere above them, there is a number that finally solves everything. But what if that's the wrong game? What if wealth was never about how high you climb, but how little you need the ladder in the first place? Because the goal was never to earn money forever. The goal was to reach a point where money no longer controls your decisions. And that's why salary alone will never make you rich. Not because income doesn't matter. It does. But income is only the fuel. Freedom is the destination. And confusing the two has trapped millions of people in a race they can never win. A race where every raise creates new expenses. Every upgrade creates new obligations. And every step forward somehow feels like standing still. Until one day, they realize they spent decades increasing their income, without ever increasing their freedom. Ending. The most financially dangerous belief in modern life is the belief that a bigger paycheck automatically creates a better future. Because if your lifestyle grows as fast as your income, you can spend your entire life earning more, without ever becoming free. And maybe that's the hidden truth nobody talks about. The people who look rich are not always wealthy. And the people who become wealthy are not always trying to look rich. Because wealth isn't measured by what you spend. It isn't measured by what you drive. It isn't measured by what other people see. Wealth is measured by one simple question. If you stopped working tomorrow, how long would your life continue exactly as it is today? The answer to that question is often closer to the truth than any salary you'll ever earn. Welcome to MONIQO.